Looking at everyday objects now, objects that might have appeared in an ordinary household and that ordinary women might have used on a daily basis. Tell us a little bit about them.
It's hard to know where these, we don't know the history of where these were actually used, what kind of household, or whether they were used, for instance, in a tavern. But one thing that might be important to point out is that often they're communally used. People didn't have, in homes, they didn't have individual plates. I would guess this is either a pitcher for milk or it's for cider or ale. Colonial people, male.
We should point out that it's wood.
It's made out of wood, which means that it is not imported and it's not expensive. But drinking was a pastime in colonial society for men, women, and children. They didn't drink water, which they thought was dangerous, and so they drank a lot of hard and soft cider, a lot of beer, a lot of rum, a lot of anything they could get their hands on. And so this might have been maybe an individual beer stein in a tavern, but it might have been a family shared drink holder. But it's definitely not something that an elegant household would have, nor is this, which would be used to hold porridge or a vegetable, maybe a soft corn pone or something that the family would eat. This is also an everyday item that probably most families could afford.
So because it was easily washed and wasn't breakable,
right,
you could fill it up again and again and again, and then pass it around, and each person with their own spoon might.
And children couldn't destroy it.
Right.
I mean, that would be mothers today. If a glass is knocked over or if a plate is broken, they have more, or they can go buy more. But I think that something that's durable like this was very valuable in a household where people were in a hurry to eat, where table manners were not refined.
And I'm thinking that a lot of households run by widowed women would also have accommodated occasional passing strangers or...
Well, one of the most common occupations for a widow was tavern keeper, because they could then simply enlarge their household chores to accommodating several adults instead of one or two. And so across the colonies, tavern keepers were often women. I do want to point out, however, and this is for people who study pottery through the ages, something that is often pointed out, this is decorative. This is for beauty. It could have just an ordinary handle, plain handle, but either the person who made it or the person who purchased it had a desire for something that had some embellishment on it. And I think you see that. I'm not an archaeologist nor an expert on any period outside of colonial America, but you see this affection for, this interest in something that is attractive, and so I wanted to point out the handle here.